It's official. Hansi Flick is now the new Barcelona manager and Xavi is gone. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Upper 90. My name is Andrew. Today I'm just going to be breaking down a lot of things, particularly what transpired over the last week or so, with Xavi getting sacked and Hansi Flick coming in, and look forward a little bit to the upcoming transfer window. So the first thing that I want to address is the whole Xavi situation, right? First and foremost, I think that it's the right decision for Xavi to go or not continue. I think for the club to progress forward and to actually, compete next season, I do believe that it is the right decision. I've always maintained, throughout the season, once Xavi announced that he was leaving, this is the best decision. You need to ride off into the sunset and just go enjoy some time off with your family. Because I look at the period of time where he was unable to get these players to respond, right? In just several games where they were just trash. And, as soon as he announced that he's leaving, all of a sudden they start to perform. So it's like, okay, what's up with that? That seems a little fishy to me. The coach said he's leaving and then now you all want to start playing. Ironically, the moment he decided that he was staying, that he changed his mind and he was staying, the poor performances came right back in. So, I don't get it. Clearly, I don't think that the players really had Xavi's back. I think that maybe some players supported him, but you definitely had some senior players and significant players who did not really support him as a coach. And I think it's just the best decision for him to go. However, the way in which that situation was handled is not cool at all. When you look at a player like Xavi for what he did for the club as a player, and then for him to come back to the club at a time when the club is in crisis, to accept low wages and to take on such enormous challenge of trying to help this team to pick itself up and compete against Madrid and other teams across Europe and Champions League. And he did well. He actually overachieved last season by winning La Liga and, the Super Cup, even though that's lowly rated, but still he did well. And it fell off this season, right? So I think it was the right decision for him to go, but the way in which they got rid of him, not cool at all. Not cool. Laporta, not cool. And, unfortunately, Barcelona has a history of treating key members and players just really poorly. If you think about when Dani Alves first left, and for what he did for the club, it was just like, bye, thank you, right? Look at the situation with Messi. They have this thing about them where it's like, thank you for your service and goodbye, right? And that's not cool. But let's put that behind us because now that's history. He's gone. All right, let's look at Hansi Flick, right? I actually like him as a coach. I think that he is a pretty good and solid coach. I mean, his record speaks for itself, what he did at Bayern Munich. And I'm trusting and hoping, like we all are as Barcelona fans, that he's going to be able to replicate something similar to what he did for Bayern Munich. We do have the raw material. We have the players. And I know we're going to do some business in the transfer market. We have to. And I'm hoping that he's able to actually mold these players and get them to respond to him and perform at their best level. Now, as we talk about players, let's look at, potential signings and players that are potentially going to depart. For me, I've always said Frankie de Jong should go. Why? Because Frankie de Jong is supposed to be more like a pivot, but except he's not. Frankie de Jong is not a pivot. He's not a pivot, right? It's been proven. He can't operate in that position. And when you look at all the other midfielders, Xavi, Pedri, Gundogan, even Fermin, where does he fit in, right? If you keep him, you're going to stifle people like Fermin and Xavi because they are, that's kind of the position that he plays. And so I think go ahead and fetch the big bucks that he's going to bring in and just buy a proper solid pivot from some of that cash and then invest some of that money towards bringing in a winger like Nico Williams. So as far as players that I believe should go, Frankie for sure, Rafinha definitely, Ferran Torres definitely, and then Oriol Romeo, I mean, he's already gone. You know, like that's no secret. He's gone. And then like Inigo Martinez, I wouldn't say sell him because he's been poor, because in fact he actually been a good player for us. But I do believe that for the sake of bringing in some money, he would be a good option to sell, and we can keep the others. Alternatively, we could keep him and sell Koundé, because I don't know what's up with Koundé this season, man, but he had good moments, but he's also been very shaky and a liability in a lot of games. So those are my definitive sells. Koundé, Inigo Martinez, interchangeable, we'll see, right? But as far as what we need, we absolutely need a pivot. We absolutely need a left-sided winger. And then, we can figure out the rest after that. I think with Balde coming back on the left-back position, I would say keep Cancelo, because if the team is set up right, even though Cancelo does not defend well, if the team is set up right, the rest of the team, especially the rest of the back line, could compensate for what he gives going forward. They could compensate defensively. And Balde now on the left line, he defends as well as going forward. So I think we should keep Cancelo for sure. I do believe that we should have a supplemental right back player, and maybe it's Araujo on loan. Maybe maybe he's the one. So we'll see. But we do need to bolster that pivot position, and Kimmich is, he's been in the conversation for quite some time now. I say we go for him, right? And if not, I honestly don't know who else. So that is my outlook on, players that should be sold and players that should come in. And also on Hansi Flick, I do like his attacking minded approach. He's a press high kind of coach, and that's what Barcelona needs. I saw there have been bits and pieces of it when Xavi implement that high press. Whenever it's done right, it is beautiful, it's effective, because it gives the opponent no time to dwell on the ball. And so I think that we need to re-implement that high press, ball possession, ball control, and score goals. For the love of God, let's score some goals. Oh, another player I forgot to mention was Robert Lewandowski. I think that he absolutely should be sold. However, considering that he has worked with Hansi Flick before and Hansi Flick was able to get the very best out of him, I am a little bit open to the possibility of him staying. But Vitor Roque needs to be brought into the team as a more involved striker that shares that position with Robert Lewandowski, where Lewandowski is not the main go-to guy, nor is Vitor Roque, because I think that Lewandowski can serve us really well in like Champions League games or in big La Liga games, and Vitor Roque could be kind of like, that supplemental striker that plays in, majority of the other games. A rested Lewandowski typically is a good Lewandowski as far as scoring goals, but that's debatable at the moment. I would be okay if we sold him and bought someone else. Again, my go-to person is Julian Alvarez from Man City. If he's up for sale and available and we can afford him, he would be my go-to guy. You look at Lewandowski's contract situation. If he stays one more season and leave at the end of this season, then he walks away and we get nothing for him. Whereas if we sell him now, we could possibly bring in a decent amount of money for him right now. I know he's older, but still we could bring in some money for him if he was to jet off to Saudi Arabia or even Major League Soccer or something like that. But that is my take on what type of business that Barcelona should be doing right now. Let me know, guys, down below in the comment section what your thoughts are. Like, is Hansi Flick the right guy? Do you agree with the way in which Laporta handles the whole Xavi situation? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling looking forward to next season? Do you think that we're going to be able to compete and win something next season? Let me know what your thoughts are. I do think we'll win something. We'll win a title. I don't know which one yet, but I feel confident that we'll win something because of the change in direction. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. And until the next video, more peace, more love.